What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is an interesting one. It's one that is very close to me because this star, this legend, is one of my favorite rugby players of all time. I've got a big bias to scrum-halves because of the cheekiness, the quickness. Most are quite short and just they are at most fighters of the game, and I've really always admired the position. If I could play rugby, that was my dream position, and I've always rated them. Jost van der Westhuizen, my hero growing up, and in the years of really getting to know the sport, Sarel Pretorius is my favourite rugby player. When he came down to the Kings, it was the happiest day ever for me because I got to meet him. I've been on radio with him twice. Super bloke, and he's one of the stars that the Springboks completely ignored and never even considered him in a Springbok squad, and I'm always going to be the helling with Springbok rugby for this. I know we've got talented scrum-halves that have been with us in the past, but when we go over the stats of this man, we're going to rethink things and get memory of this great man. And this was obviously when he played for the Cheetahs. I mean, you all know me. I'm a Shark through and through. But when this guy played, and if he scored against the Sharks, I would have forgiven it because he was the only one who was allowed to, because this guy was my hero. I rated him. I even created him in all my rugby games. He was brilliant. He had a knack for breaking opposition defenses and scoring tries, and he was quick. He changes the games, and I've seen it with the Kings, and it's a pity he's injured, but when he comes on in the second half or the first half, he changes the game, and the team automatically plays a whole different level where they feel safe and secure. I mean, he is a proper live wire, and I'm glad Rugby Pass and Rugby 365 have acknowledged this man because he deserves it. The live wire Pretorius has scored the most tries, which is 19 of any scrum-half from South Africa in Super Rugby across the decade of 2011 to 2020, and fourth most among all number 9s. Pretorius is the only scrum-half from South Africa to have recorded 50 plus in offloads, 73 that is, and clean breaks 52, as he gained the most meters, which was 1,904 meters gained, of any South African player in the last decade. He notched up those stats playing for two teams, the Cheetahs and the Waratahs, in one season in 2012. Australia noticed him, and I could have sworn he was going to be the next Australian scrum-half. But unfortunately, obviously, Australia had Will Guinea in the mix then. Pretorius was South Africa's Super Rugby Player of the Year in 2011. He wasn't even selected for the World Cup. I was highly the moon for that one, excuse my French. He also was the joint top try scorer in Super 15 that year of 2011. Joint top scorer. He's breaking records, and Peter de Villiers did not select him. I was highly upset with that man for that because I believed he earned the right. I mean, you become the top player. Why the hell weren't you selected in it? And I can't remember who it was. It was definitely Fourie de Pre, obviously, and I'm not saying he's better than Fourie. Well, I think he is, but just imagine the caliber of one of the best in Fourie de Pre and having your backup as one of the top, if not the top, scrum-half of that year in 2011 in Sarel Pretorius. What the difference he could have made if he was selected. And I really believe we South Africa Springboks missed out on an opportunity here. And not just Peter de Villiers. I mean, all the other coaches after Heineken Meyer, they could have brought this guy back and selected him, but they chose not to. And I was highly the helling with that because we're missing great opportunities. And I remember Sean McLeod was there. He was playing for the Sharks. I didn't rate him at all, but yet he was getting call-ups. We had obviously Francois Hougaard, who could play a lot. I rated him. He was good. Rudy Page might have been in that time. I mean, what has he really done? And a few others to name the least. But this was a big miss. Even though he was ranked high in stats, department, Pretorius never reached test level rugby at his ripe age until, in all likelihood, will never happen. He plays for the Kings, obviously now in the Pro 14, but unfortunately due to his age, and I'm going to get him onto this channel one day. He has said he would, so I would love to do that one day, get him in an interview here to hear more about this great player, because he deserved more. The only closest opportunity he got was the emerging Springboks. So it's just to the one that got away, as they say, when you have a drink. And I think he could have been something special in South African rugby. And yeah, it's just one of those things. But I'm grateful for the talent that this man has brought to rugby, and I'm proud that Rugby Australia acknowledged him for the Waratahs and for his services that he's done overseas. Newport Gent he was playing for, and when he came down to PE to pretty much, like you could say, retire and end his career, was the happiest day of my life, because I got to meet my hero, which was Sarel Pretorius. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Something different. And let me know, are there any Springbok stars or stars in this rugby generation of the last decade that we have missed, that Heineke Meyer, Peter de Villiers, Rassie Coetzee, he's missed a few things, but yeah, has missed out on? Which player do you think was the most unlucky? Give me 5 and we'll do a video about that, and you'll be credited in it. Because I think we've missed a lot of great talent due to obviously certain reasons that I won't go more into detail with, but fantastic that this legend is paid tribute to, because he deserves it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you real soon for another one. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.